Tic-Tac-Doe, weekdays on King 5.
NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the American Football Conference. Today from the Kingdome in Seattle, it's the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. Today's game is brought to you by Michelob Light. After all, it's simply a matter of good taste. By Cotton Incorporated, the fiber company of American cotton producers. By Dodge. Test drive the new 1980 Dodge cars, engineered with room, styling, ride, and handling. And by Allstate Insurance Companies. You're in good hands with Allstate. Seattle, Washington, 40-degree temperatures. It's misting and gray here in the great Northwest, but in the Kingdome, 60,000 fans, 17th consecutive sellout to see the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos in cozy living room conditions. A game, of course, as one team looks ahead to the playoffs and another toward a possible winning season.
Well, Jack Patera is an interesting man as a coach. I said, Jack, do you play this game any differently? He said, I want to win. I don't care whether it's my second victory of the year or my 12th or my 14th. I want to see us win.
And on the other hand, you have, in contrast to Patera and his wide-open offense, you have the defensive-oriented Denver Broncos of Red Miller, and they're about to receive the football as teeing it up, Efren Herrera of the Seahawks. First game between these two teams, Denver with an incredible comeback at Mile High Stadium. It was perhaps the most important victory of their season. Dave Preston takes it to the 20, outside to the 30. And Preston finally rolled out of bounds at the 38-yard line by number 56, Sammy Green of the Seattle Seahawks.
Let's take a quick look at the offensive lineup, Dick. Craig Morton coming onto the field to lead that Bronco offense. Rob Lytle and John Keyworth in the backfield. We'll see a lot of backs for Denver. Receivers for the Broncos, the speedy Rick Upchurch, one wide receiver position. He's got a gimpy ankle. Haven Moses and Ron Egloff. Ron Egloff, of course, in their place of Riley Odoms, who has a broken arm.
From the 36-yard line, Craig Morton sends Moses in motion. Wide open, but dropping the ball at the 45-yard line is Rob Lytle. Michael Jackson, 55, closest for the Seahawks. Let's take a look at that interior blocking in front of Denver's Craig Morton.
Craig gives a lot of credit to his offensive line, says they're one of the reasons he's had such a fine year. Looking across, Dave Studdard, the new addition, playing well at left tackle. Glassick, you saw him on our pregame show, NFL 79. Bryant, Howard, Manor. That's a big, strong offensive line.
Second down and 10. Morton, it was the game against these Seahawks in the first month of the season that earned him the starting Spangles. Deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. It appeared to be the same pattern, trying to go to Lytle in that right flat, but one of the Seahawks had a wing up there and deflected the throw.
Well, one of those defensive linemen, I believe it was Carl Eller, the ageless number 71. Let's look at that defensive line for the Seahawks. Dennis Boyd, Robert Hardy, and Manu Tuiasosopo in the inside, two rookie tackles. They are doing a fine job, but having a lot to learn. Bill Gregory, the veteran, on the other side.
So it's third down and 10 for Denver at the 36. Morton going long for Upchurch. Just off the fingertips of the speedy Rick Upchurch. Just when you think the ball is too long, that Upchurch has another gear and stretched out and almost pulled off 6 points.
Upchurch, as we said, has a bad ankle. He doesn't look like he's running with any less than maximum speed here. Runs away from Keith Simpson on the outside, and 26, that's Justin on the inside, and should have had that football. I'm sure he'll go back unhappily to the sideline, as will the rest of that offensive team.
10-man rush for the Seahawks. Luke Pressridge averaging 40 yards a kick. Harris deep at the 25 for Seattle. It's a low kick and should be returned. John Harris from Arizona State. The rookie gets it to the 25, and that'll be all. Good coverage by the Broncos. 44-yard punt by Prestridge and a 9-yard return.
Not a good snap. A punt that was almost blocked.
So the Seahawks have the ball for the first time, and the exciting Jim Zorn, number 10, the quarterback. Oh, what a job he's done in his 4 seasons here in Seattle. Sherman Smith and Dan Dornick, running backs with him. The target, Sam McCullen, the veteran on one side, Steve Largent, who leads the entire National Football League in yardage gained receiving, with the tight end Brian Keats. Dorn from Cal Poly Pomona brings Largent in motion and gives it to Sherman Smith. And the big running back crosses the 30-yard line out to the 31. Gain of about 5.
The offensive lineman up front clearing the way for Sherman Smith on that particular play. They've had some injuries in the offensive line. Bebout and Lynch are back in the lineup after missing some playing time. Probably the best of the offensive linemen, John Yarno, the center. Ron Coder is in there again because of an injury this week. Steve August playing on the other side.
2nd down and 5. Zorn is bigger than he looks. He's 6'2" and 200. His first attempt complete. McCullum to the 34, short gainer. It'll be shy of the first down by a couple of yards. Tom Jackson, the speedy linebacker for the Broncos, made the play.
3 defensive linemen and the 34 orientation of the Denver Broncos. Barney Chavis, Reuben Carter, and Bryson Manor. We'll see other defensive linemen. They twist them around a lot, send a lot of people into the ball game. Probably the finest set of linebackers, and certainly one of the fastest groups of linebackers in all of football. Swenson has had a fantastic year, and Randy Gradishar is just one of the greatest linebackers we've ever seen play the game.
He's really the pro's pro. On 3rd and a long 2, it's Smith. He doesn't get there. So that Bronco defense has held, and on 4th and 1, apparently the Seahawks will kick it away. And with the Seattle club, you never know.
Well, you have to say apparently, and certainly Jack Patera has surprised and stunned a lot of his foes in the NFL by being willing to go to gambling situations almost at the drop of a hat. They'll throw out of that situation, they'll shift and run, they do a lot of things.
Dave Preston at the other end as Herman Weaver slices one off the side of his foot, takes a good roll. Preston breaks one tackle. He's to the 30, another tackle, and all the way out to the 38-yard line. Good return by Preston. As Herman Weaver's kick was short. So, neither team able to move the football. No score in the Kingdome. Denver and Seattle, and we'll be right back.
Okay, guys, no kidding. What'd you think of my catch? Hey, first things first. 3 Michelob Lights? Michelob Light? Sure, me too. I'll have a Michelob Light.
The rich, full-bodied taste of Michelob Light. Compare it to any beer you like.
This Michelob Light's sensational. Now tell me, should I have my fish mounted?
No, put it on a bun.
Michelob Light. Compare the taste to any beer you like.
Yeah. The Mitsubishi Bridge from Japan to Dodge.
The #1 gasoline mileage car in America is here, the Dodge Colt hatchback. From a passenger car line, which is in total the most technologically advanced fleet in Japan. Colt is engineered with front-wheel drive and the advanced MCA jet engine.
Take the Mitsubishi Bridge to your Dodge dealer.
We have increased availability of America's #1 gasoline mileage car. See it at your Dodge dealer right now.
Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, the beautiful Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. No score, neither team able to move the ball on the first series, and now it's Craig Morton, the Broncos, going to work at the 37 of Denver. Morton to Upchurch. Oh, that speedy wide receiver. Fumbles the ball. Keith Simpson had it for a moment, and does it go out of bounds?
No.
No, it does. Yes, it does. Denver maintains possession, and the Seahawks bench is in an uproar. Jack Patera right there burning the officials' ears, but apparently Seattle did not get to the ball before it had rolled to the sidelines, and last possession belonged to Denver.
You have to have possession of that football. Let's watch carefully. It's just a quick little screen out to Upchurch, trying to take advantage of his great quickness, and he puts the move on Justin right there. A little straight arm, gets away from Beeman. Clearly a fumble, but the Seahawks have got to have possession before that ball gets out of bounds. The official there said that he was touching that sideline, and it looked as if he was from our angle.
Van reacting to the television replay here in the Kingdom. Of course, they did not see it favorably. It is a first down, Denver, and it's Lytle breaking down to the 45-yard line, where it'll be second down, 7 Denver.
Both these teams, Dick, happy to be inside, at least happy to be out of the weather. They had terrible playing conditions last week. The Broncos in a very tough game back in Buffalo, and they almost managed to lose that one. And back in Kansas City, the Seahawks did manage to lose in equally nasty weather conditions.
And that knocked them out of any playoff aspirations. Now it's a matter of Patero's club wanting to finish with a winning record. They're 7-7. Long count by Morton. He's about to run out of time. Down to 2 seconds. 1 second.
There it is.
Just got it off. And Lytle up the middle to the 40 and down to the 36. Make it the 37-yard line. It appears he has the first down. Keith Butler, 53, from Memphis State, in on the tackle for Seattle.
Seattle defense has been rather porous during the year. They've given up 294 points on the year. It becomes more meaningful when you look at the fact that Denver has only given up 217 points. Of course, Seattle has also managed, Dick, to be rather explosive on offense. 6 different times during the year, they have exploded for more than 30 points, which is pretty good productivity.
Now, Jack Patero's club has been described by the fans here in Seattle. This is a fun team. Yes, they're not going to be in the playoffs, but boy, do we love to come out and see them play because they are so unpredictable. First down play for Morton. Guns the ball to Upchurch. Complete at the 19-yard line. First down, Denver. Beeman made the tackle, and you could see Upchurch after that last fumble protected the ball as soon as he caught it.
We have talked about Craig Morton's passing ability on many occasions and said that, in essence, if his offensive line gives him time to throw, and he had it there, he'll cut you up. And with a receiver like Upchurch free in the secondary, you are in dangerous position. Watch Upchurch here. Just goes to the open zone right there, gets his hands on the football. Took a heck of a lick. That's a fine catch.
18-yard gain, and it's first down Denver inside the 20. First quarter, 10.5 minutes remaining. John Keyworth, big hole, and he rambles down to the 12-yard line. Boy, the blockers in front of Keyworth gave him a lot of daylight. Jackson and Simpson in the secondary finally with a stop.
Denver doing a better job of running the football late in the season. Early in the year, they did not have much success with their running game. I think as they have gotten their offensive line healthy and kind of got some of the receivers back in there. Lytle having a good year now. Keyworth running well. Armstrong has had an outstanding year. We haven't seen him in there yet.
Armstrong has just come into the game. He's the wing on the right. Keyworth the only man behind Morton on second down and 3. And it is Jim Jensen. It is Jensen up the middle for his first carry to the 10-yard line. Beeman tripped him up. It'll be very close to the first down. They mark it at the 10, so it's third and less than a yard.
Red Miller has an interesting philosophy. He'll have all 6 of his running backs in the ball game if they're healthy, and he'll roll them in and out. Believes that they get a real edge by being fresh, physically fresh. He'll do the same thing with his defensive linemen. And it's discouraging for an offensive lineman to have to play against two guys who are taking turns resting and then coming back in to hammer on him.
Keyworth moves to the wing right. Preston is to the left, and Jensen behind Morton. It is Jensen. Caught. A big defensive play by Dave Brown, the only man to ever start every game that Seattle has played, and Brown showed his savvy on that effort.
Seattle needed a big play from the defense. It looked as if Denver was just going to march it in. Very aggressive play from number 22, Dave Brown. Just drove across, got away from the blocker. Fine open field tackle. Jim Turner, the ageless one with the high tops out there with those black boots.
It'll be a 36-yard attempt. Flag is down. The kick is up, and it is good, but let's check the penalty. Illegal procedure, Denver. They'll have to kick it again. Oh, those are the kind of mistakes you don't like to see, because that's a big 5-yard difference, taking a field goal from 36 to 41 yards.
One of the very close games that these two teams played earlier. Turner was given a second chance on a field goal.
Illegal. Will you?
Cal Lepore telling the Denver captain to shut up.
Illegal formation, offense number 70 played in ineligible position. He had reported as ineligible on the previous play.
Oh.
4th down.
Dave Studdard, who played a wing in the short yardage situation, had reported himself as a wide receiver, which he must do, and then failed to tell the officials that he was moving back to the interior part of the line.
That is because he's wearing number 70 and has to report, because you don't expect to see a 70 out there. He can play anywhere he wants to, but when you wear a lineman's number and you play a wide receiver, you must report that to the official so that they then can alert the defense.
As we showed you in that pregame package, he has not only been out there at that wide receiver position or at flanker position, moved into the wing, but also caught a touchdown pass against these Seahawks from that position earlier in the year.
Now a 41-yard attempt by the veteran Turner. It is no good. Oh, my.
Turner does not have the power in that leg that he used to have, and he knows right now where that football's gone.
So what appeared to be an apparent drive to points by Denver comes up empty. First quarter, no score.
Oh, Grandpa, he's so cute.
Yeah, he's more than just a soft, cuddly dog. See, he's got a radio in his tummy.
Radio Shack's adorable, petable portables with AM radio inside. 6 different animals, priced $11.95 to $15.95. Choose the raccoon, black poodle, boxer, Pekingese, white terrier, and brown spaniel.
I love him. I love you.
Gift-priced animal radios, only at Radio Shack.
Hurricane Frederick strikes the Gulf Coast, leaving behind over $1 billion worth of damage. Before the winds stopped, Allstate people were at work, using new techniques of handling claims, like radios and computers.
Place the roof complete.
Okay.
Place the left quarter glass.
Got it.
Speeding up settlement of thousands of claims, both auto and homeowners. Allstate in action. New ways of giving help when you need it. You're in good hands with Allstate.
NBC Sports World salutes the champions of '79. It's been a memorable year, and we'll review the many magic moments with an exciting look at the year's major events on Sports Year '79. A salute to the champions, Saturday, December 22nd.
In 2 weeks, that year-end special on NBC Sports World. It's been an incredibly fine year for us at NBC Sports, covering events around the world. I know you'll want to share the replays of some of the top moments. First down, Seattle after the missed field goal, and Jim Zorn goes to work. Complete. Dan Dornick dumped at the 30-yard line. Running back from Washington State, acquired from the New York Giants before the start of this season, and a good deal for Seattle and bemoaned by many of the fans back in New York.
Well, he told me yesterday that this is home for him. His folks live just an hour and a half away from here, and he said, didn't really fit in that big city life. I'm much more comfortable here in Seattle.
As he attended Washington State down in the southeastern portion of this great state. Second down, 4. Dornick up the middle, close to a first down. Stopped, fumbled, but I believe after the whistle. Got to the 33-yard line before Reuben Carter, Randy Gradishar and company greeted him.
Randy Gradishar, one of the most active and one of the quickest linebackers in football. Number 53, right in the middle of your picture. Watch him take on the blocker. As number 61, Tom Lynch, realizes the ball carrier is inside, spins back inside, and gets the tackle on Dornick right there. And as you can see, stripped the ball away. That's fine defensive play, but the whistle had blown. There'll be a third and a very short yard for the Seattle Seahawks.
Zorn thus far has elected to go short on his passes, 2 for 2 for just 8 yards. A threat to run in this situation is Zorn, but he gives up the middle to Dornick, who dives apparently to the first down.
I don't think so. I don't think he's got it, Dick. It's going to be close, but this Denver Bronco defense has got to be one of the toughest short yardage defenses in the NFL. They are absolutely amazing at being able to stop people in critical situations like that one. One of the reasons, I believe, because of their great quickness at linebacker.
I say he got it. I say he's got it.
Okay. All right, but your angle's a little better than mine.
Oh, victory. I'm going to celebrate that one tomorrow.
I guess I'm still down the trenches with the defense sometimes.
Nobody's perfect. Well, you played in the trenches for that man, Jack Patera, when he was the defensive line coach of the Los Angeles Rams. And doesn't it surprise you, his character as a head coach, at least his team's offensive nature? I mean, he seemed so conservative and tough and defensive-oriented, and here he has that wide-open offense.
Well, I think it surprises and disappoints him. He wanted to build a defense here. He just hasn't been able to do it.
There's that timing pattern to McCullum, but he didn't get turned in time. Louis Wright on the coverage at the left corner for Denver.
Wright's a tough one over there. In line with that, Dick, talking to Jack Patera yesterday, he is concerned about his defense. He said, I keep reevaluating what we're doing. I reevaluate our players, our coaching, myself. He said, I don't understand why we're not playing better defense. Certainly we could use some stronger players at different positions. But he has some young players out there, and they're growing and learning. They're going to be a better defense.
It is a young team. Second down 10, Seattle at the 33, 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, no score. Zorn to Smith. Smith breaks a tackle, and he's out to the 45-yard line. First down. 11-yard gain, and Seattle puts first downs back-to-back.
Big play. Largent coming in action in motion to the inside actually ends up almost screening the defender, Swenson, who was supposed to get out and cover Smith there. That's number 29, Bernard Jackson, who got a piece of him. But without the help from the inside, they were able to pick it up, get a first down. Seattle has their first drive going.
Now Smith, not only a fine rusher, he's led Seattle each of the first 4 years here, but also a great receiver. He's caught 40 going into this game. Whoops, offside.
I don't believe they
no flag, though. And it's Smith pounding for a gain of 2 or 3 before he meets number 53, Randy Gradishar, and 66, Bryson Manor of the Broncos.
Defensive linemen, are trained to move on action, on motion. And they try not to listen to that snap count. And often when a linebacker will jump up into that line, they see that motion, they misinterpret that as being an offensive move, and they move with it. That's what happened there. Luckily, the nose man was far enough off the ball, Don Latimer, that he did not, or Reuben Carter actually, that he did not go into that area and take himself offside.
Second down and 7 near midfield. The Seahawks' best drive early in this game. That one right off the foot of Dornick as he backpedaled toward the near sideline, hit him right in the puppy. Zorn says, hey, I know you got good hands. Thought I'd test the other part of the anatomy.
I was watching Zorn warm up with Efren Herrera, the kicker. And Herrera, of course, a soccer player, too, was bouncing the ball off his foot. And I watched Zorn. He dropped it over and kicked it back and forth, bounced it up 4 or 5 times.
He's a fine athlete. He's an accomplished speed skater, as well as a little amateur boxing. He's the people's choice here in the great Northwest, and he's looking at 3rd and 7. McCullum in motion. Zorn throwing for him. He's got him at the 45 of Denver. It is a good catch, and it will be a first down, I believe. Very close.
The official on the sideline having to rule whether McCullum was driven out of bounds or whether he was falling out of bounds. Now watch the receiver. McCullum actually comes down out of bounds here. Watch his feet. He's actually out of bounds. But the official there ruled that he was pushed out of bounds, that if he had landed on his own momentum, his feet would have been inside.
Good coverage with our NBC camera crew. And now the measurement on the near sidelines for first down. It is 3 in a row now for the Seahawks since the missed field goal by Turner.
Let's go back and look at it again, because that is a good play for us to take advantage of. Now watch the feet and watch the momentum that is applied by the defensive player. Actually pushes him away from a landing spot inside that sideline. Well, it is fine camera work. Billy Thompson, number 36, the defender, and of course he's doing his job too. An official might have had to say, well, he might have lit on the line and taken it away from Zorn and from the Seahawks.
Zorn thus far has thrown to McCullum, Smith, and Dornick, but not to number 80, Steve Largent, who is in the slot to the left. On the first down play from the 45 of Denver. Smith, 35, 25, 22. First down Seattle. That's 4 in a row.
watching Jimmy Zorn, I don't think he could believe that Smith was that wide open. He actually hesitated before he threw that football, and Smith had to look back once and say, come on, man, I'm wide open out here. A blown assignment by the Bronco defense. They absolutely do not have anyone on Smith right there. Look how open he is. And, of course, he takes advantage of it once he gets up the side there. But very quick reaction. You see 4 defensive players into that zone quickly. This Denver team can really move defensively.
This has been the best march of this game for the Seahawks. First down, Denver 22. Oops. Contact before the snap. Was it encouraged by some illegal movement in the offensive line? Offside, Denver. So 5 more yards toward that goal line for the Seahawks. You know, we're talking about Sherman Smith. Merlin, he really is an interesting study. At Miami of Ohio, he was a quarterback and led the Redskins to a 33-1-1 record his 3 years as a running quarterback.
Encroachment, 72. Defense, first
They
down.
was drafted by Seattle in the 2nd round as a wide receiver, and Jack Patera, in one of his gambling moods, said, I think I'm going to try this guy as a running back, not as a quarterback or wide receiver, and he's been an outstanding runner and receiver.
And he's picked up some of the slack for the David Sims, who, of course, because of an injury, had to leave the game, and it was a sad loss to the Seahawks.
There goes Smith. All the way for a touchdown! And for Sherman Smith, that is his 13th touchdown this year. Ties him with Pete Johnson for 2nd place in the AFC. A 17-yard run.
We've seen the Denver Bronco defense toughen up down in this territory, but they didn't get tough enough on this play. Some great blocking right there on 59, Joe Rizzo. Smith cutting against the grain, popped into the open, and as so often you see it right there, all alone as he trotted into the end zone. That whole defense up tight. He got away from him, scores the 6 points. I'd like to get the 7.
Numero uno, Efren Herrera, the try for point, and it's good. Timeout at the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. 4 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Seahawks lead the Broncos 7-0.
But you got to get them behind the wheel, and you got to show them what kind of product you've got, and we've got a good one.
50 owners of T-Bird, Grand Prix, Monte Carlo came to test drive America's newest personal car, Murata by Dodge. Engineered to be fuel efficient, but not at the expense of styling or luxury. Better than 2 out of 3 who drove Murata preferred it to their own personal car.
This Murata is a car that I'm going to drive. That's going to be my car.
Buy a 1980 Dodge Murata now at a participating dealer and get a $300 check direct from Chrysler.
Take care of your car at Kmart. Our automotive service centers care.
Your Kmart Automotive Center can be your center for Christmas gifts. Anyone on your list would be pleased with this top-quality 21-piece socket wrench set. 1/4 and 3/8 drive, backed by a full unconditional duration warranty. A great gift for $11.88 at Kmart Automotive Centers across the U.S., where quality car products are Kmart priced.
Orly explodes and Perkins goes undercover to catch a mad bomber on Lobo. Then Henry Fonda stars in the television premiere of The Great Smoky Roadblock Tuesday.
Christmas Day, the Fiesta Bowl on NBC, and there's a little fiesta for the Seahawks.
Some great blocking inside by Yarno, Coder, and Lynch, who did a great job of moving people back.
And now Efren Herrera will kick it off to Dave Preston and Chris Payne. 7-0 Seattle. Preston at his 5. And cut down at the 23-yard line. Now Craig Morton and the Broncos trailing 7-0 with 4:22 remaining in the first quarter. Yes, sir. On Christmas Day, we hope you'll join us on NBC. Panthers and the Wildcats. The Fiesta Bowl here on NBC. And Merlin, looking ahead then to New Year's Day, and we'll be at the Rose Bowl, Ohio State against the USC. I see where I think it was Associated Press today announced that they have made Ohio State the national champion going into that game. That should be a beauty.
Well, it certainly should be. And SC, of course, would like to claim the national championship if they can beat them on New Year's Day.
Otis Armstrong out to the 29-yard line, and we certainly don't want to offend any of those rabid fans of the Crimson Tide, Alabama, but they'll have their hands full earlier in the day, and an Alabama-Arkansas final will know that before they kick it off in Pasadena. So the national championship very much at stake, and part of that will be seen right here on NBC. Of course, in the Orange Bowl, that features another unbeaten team that says, hey, maybe we're better than number 5 Florida State. They'll try to prove it against Billy Sims and the Oklahoma Sooners.
And if they can beat Oklahoma, you're going to have to sit up and take listen, aren't we?
You bet. Second down for Denver at the 29. Morton giving to Lytle. No gain. Good defense on that left side of the line by the Seahawks as they unpile Michael Jackson, 55, helped out by Keith Simpson, 42, who came up from safety. And Simpson is playing with a painful injury, a fractured cheekbone just 2 weeks ago. They didn't think he'd be able to go today, but the youngster from Memphis State is in there.
He's one of the big play people that Jack Patera likes so well on that defense, too. He said there's a young man that will eventually be an all-pro performer if he continues to improve the way he has.
Morton is 2 for 5 and looks at a 3rd down 3. And he is going to pass. Good pressure. And Haven Moses unable to come up with the ball at the 43. Dave Brown and Keith Simpson had him surrounded. So the Broncos sputtering here in the first quarter after they missed that field goal attempt. Took it away because of the penalty. Have to give it up again.
Moses down is actually waiting for that football. Ball delivered off target, but it has a chance to get his hands on it. I think that turf is awfully hard. I think he was thinking about landing rather than thinking about catching.
Morton doing a good job of throwing the ball away from the defender Brown, who took away the inside. 10-man rush, and he gets it away. And a beauty by Prestridge. That's Harris at the 19. Looking for blocks. 30. And they finally wrestle him down at the 34. A good effort by Harris, the second-year defensive back from Arizona State. 51-yard punt, 16 yards on the return. With 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Seattle leads by 7.
I'd like to talk to you about the Sony Betamax and an incredible feature called Betascan. I'm Tom Williams Sr., and if you know tennis, you know my son. Here's a cassette of his last championship match. Betascan lets me go fast forward and reverse, so I can skip the boring stuff like this long rally and stop when I come to the real exciting parts, like Tom Jr. here dashing onto the court to pick up the ball. Isn't Betamax terrific? It lets you see what you've been missing and miss what you don't want to see. It's from Sony, the one and only.
It's that time of day when you can say, come on and head for the mountains. The taste is smooth and waiting for you.
Here's to a beer brewed slow, cold, and natural for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch.
Head for Busch Beer. On the mountain. Head for Busch Beer.
Hail from the Rose Bowl, the Super Bowl, Wimbledon, baseball championships, so much to see again, and we're going to salute this sports year of 79 on Sports World in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, here on NBC. Mark that one down, and please be with us. 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Very special edition. Jim Zorn and the Seahawks lead 7-0 and have the ball at the 34-yard line. Late in the first quarter, 2:42 remaining. Zorn play action. Good time. And there is the tight end, Brian Peets. And he has a first down across the 45-yard line. Peets, a second-year tight end from the University of Pacific, caught only 1 pass all last year, but that's his 21st this season.
Zorn has been criticized for not taking better use or making better use of his tight end. And Brian Peets right here, I'm sure saying, hey, that's the way to do it. You throw it to me, I'll catch it, and then I'll make some extra yardage. You see him turn right here, gets up the field. Billy Thompson, 51 coming in, Bob Swenson. But Peets getting the first down. 1st and 10 on about the 46-yard line.
Large and in motion, they've been using him as a decoy, and he's been wrapping up a couple of Denver defenders. Sherman Smith picking his hole on the right side and gains a couple out to the 47, 48-yard line. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited.
This Denver defense, Dick, likes to stunt. They'll give you a lot of different looks. They are a 3-man line and 4 linebackers, but they jump around all over the place, and they at times you wonder what in the world they're doing out there. And of course, they do it to try and confuse Zorn, to try and confuse the blocking assignments of that offense. And they just did it. And Zorn didn't like what he saw, And he called the timeout to go to the sideline.
Well, actually, the wide receivers, too, were pointing at the 30-second clock, and it was down to 2, 1 second. He called time with 1 second showing on the clock. Obviously, rather than take the 5-yard penalty, he elected to use one of his timeouts. So with a break in the action and 1:16 seconds left in the first quarter, we'd like to remind you that we have another big day of football that will start with NFL 79 at 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 here on the West Coast, and some key games tomorrow. The Browns and the Raiders, two teams that need help from elsewhere, but both still entertaining hopes for a playoff spot. That's one of the games you'll see. The Washington Redskins, after watching Dallas beat Philadelphia today, they certainly need a win against the Bengals. How about Miami? They're trying to protect that one-game lead as they entertain Detroit in the early games.
Lots of interesting combinations. Certainly that Cleveland game of interest to Bronco fans, because if the Denver Broncos win today and Cleveland loses tomorrow, they will have a wild card berth assured for the playoffs.
Now, even with the action today, we do know that Philadelphia, regardless, has at least a wild card opportunity. But a doubleheader tomorrow on NBC, and we hope you'll enjoy all the action. A little special Saturday edition today.
A lot of great football coming up.
Jim Zorn. You saw him. Weren't you still a member of the Rams when they had him around cutting grass and also working at a few
story.
plays?
We'll tell that story, Dick, because it's a very interesting one.
2nd down and 8. Zorn is 6 for 8 passing thus far and in a pass formation. That's McCullum in motion. Zorn deflected and almost intercepted. Bill Thompson had a beat on that one, 36, as he came up quickly from the secondary, but it was deflected over his head.
Randy Gradishar, number 53, the man that deflected it, and Billy Thompson looked up and said, if you let that one go, that's mine. And of course it happened. Maybe you'll get a chance to see it here as we go back through the replay. Zorn taking enough time here, gets a little extra time by running away from the rush, fires the ball, but not high enough. Watch the tip here. Gradishar up and tipped it, and had he not tipped it, Billy Thompson, number 36, would have been up the field with it. That would have been a big turn for the Denver Broncos defense.
Red Miller's team trailing 7-0, a minute remaining in the first quarter. 3rd and 8, Seattle. Zorn has not gone to Largent yet.
All-out blitz. Ooh,
and he had to dump it early to McCullum, and McCullum said, I had a touchdown if you get it to me, but Zorn just didn't have any chance. Although he may feel, McCullum, that he was held at the line of scrimmage illegally.
Well, you try and read that blitz, and of course the wide receivers who are reading it have got to make that quick move downfield. You get a feeling for McCullum's anger right here. He's already stomping. The ball isn't even finished rolling out of bounds, and he's stomping up and down saying, hey, I was interfered with.
As the Seahawks with ruffled feathers, McCullum to the sidelines, and the Hawks will have to give up the ball. Thunderfoot Herman Weaver pounds one hard. Preston lets it go. A little too long by Weaver, and it'll be first down on the touchback at the 20-yard line for the Broncos. Weaver, the claim on him is that when he kicks them, he can hit them as far as anyone, but just hasn't been as consistent as he himself would like to be.
That one was for 52 yards, and he does have a powerful leg, but he gets them in trouble sometimes because it's hard to know where that ball's going to end up.
It's Herman Weaver, the passer, as well. It's not just
yeah.
Thunderfoot, but it's the accurate hand. He's 3 for 4 passing this season.
Well, and that one pass in an obvious situation where no one was fooled this last week, but he was 3 for 3 going into that Buffalo game. Or not Buffalo, into the Kansas City game.
Lytle in motion, and Morton takes to the air on first down. Good protection, and open is Moses. And he doesn't have it long enough. Moses appeared as he leaned low to make a difficult catch, kicked it out of his grasp as he headed to the sidelines.
Just watching the Broncos, it would appear to me that they don't have complete concentration today. They have dropped some passes that they ordinarily would hang on to, especially a man like Moses, who has tremendous concentration as a receiver. That is a difficult catch, but that's the kind he makes look easy on certain other days.
Haven is approaching the 400 catch mark in his fine career out of San Diego State. 2nd and 10. And Morton again to throw. Almost intercepted by Autry Beeman, number 27. It was intended for Moses again, and a flag is down in the backfield of the Broncos. Beeman shooting up from his free safety spot, and he had his eyes lighted. He looked for a possible touchdown.
Well, we've seen a couple of situations dangerously close to a long run back and interception. Morton under pressure from Tulia Sisopo there. The ball off, but as you can see right there, good anticipation by Autry Beeman, number 27.
6-0 offense. Penalties declined.
Paul
Third down.
Howard guilty of holding Tulia Sisopo, the rookie from UCLA.
Quick look at it right there. Watch the defensive play by Beeman, who steps in front of Moses right there. And had he been able to keep his hands on it, he may well have had a touchdown.
Craig Morton is now 2 for 8 passing. That's far below that season-long percentage. He needs 10 on third down and apparently won't get it. Preston is wrapped up shy of the 30-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Yes, it'll be marked short of the 30-yard line. It's fourth and less than a yard. Kerry Justin, number 26, made a very fine tackle when it appeared that Preston would get the yardage.
It really did. And Justin had a hold of the back of him and flipped him to the ground. At times, it appeared that he was flirting with that first down yardage, but that's a good defensive play.
Well, that Justin family has to be proud. 2 sons, both as free agents, are now active in the National Football League. Kerry here in Seattle and his brother down in Los Angeles.
And both playing cornerback. That's got to be one of the toughest positions for a free agent to play in all of football.
Harris at the 36. Harris looks for a block, and it isn't there. And out of bounds at the 40, and we have a clip, I believe, against Seattle. A 35-yard punt, 4-yard return. But let's check the penalty. And also a little extra acting.
We're going to have to practice up on some Academy Award performances here. Watch Luke Prestridge. Prestridge gets the punt away. He feels a little pressure coming. And what does a good punter do? He fakes it.
At least he found a soft spot to fall.
Well, that's how you fell on Sam McCullum, number 84. McCullum tracked him all the way down the field and was going to come back and block him, but the officials were down there.
We'll check on that penalty call when we come back. That is the end of the first quarter here in the Kingdome. They're marking off the penalty against the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a big penalty, too.
Down to the 25-yard line. Here's the call.
Personal foul, blocking below the waist, 52 on the return. It's a first down, end of the quarter.
Yes, it is, Mr. Lepore. Then the score here in Seattle, the Seahawks 7, the Denver Broncos nothing. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to Mary.
The baby born to you will be the Holy Son of God.
In the tradition of NBC's Jesus of Nazareth, Mary and Joseph, a story of faith. A 3-hour world premiere. Blanche Baker as Mary, Jeff East as Joseph, Colleen Dewhurst as Elizabeth. The Sunday big event.
If Cinnabar were a place, it would be exotic beyond your wildest dreams. If Cinnabar were a palace, it would be opulent beyond all reason. If Cinnabar were a fragrance, it would have to be by Estee Lauder, and it is. And it might take you where you have never been before.
Cinnabar, now at Frederick and Nelson.
Better Than Checking gives you pay by phone at no extra charge. And only Washington Mutual has it.
Hello, Washington
So,
Mutual?
you can pay by phone or by pen. Either way, you earn interest on your spending money. It's another way we help families get more from their money. After all, family business is our business. Washington Mutual Savings Bank. Get Better Than Checking and get pay by phone at no extra charge.
Watch Match Game PM here on King 5.
Second quarter in the Kingdome in Seattle. Over 60,000 fans. 17th consecutive sellout here at the Kingdome. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen welcoming you to the first play of the second quarter. The Seahawks trying to nail the Broncos with their first loss in this rivalry. And 4-0 Denver in previous games have a 7-0 lead. Ball at the 25. First down. Zorn to the air. And he's got some running room, but elects to feed it to Smith anyway. And Sherman Smith takes it to the 46-yard line. Boy, he has hit Smith Merlin Olsen 3 times now, and Smith did not have to break stride on any of those catches, leading him perfectly on the dead run.
Smith picked up 21 yards on the play, and that's smart football. Not only smart in the way Zorn eluded the rush and started upfield, but he probably could have made as many yards on his own, elected to throw the easy pass and let the halfback take the punishment on the sideline. That's smart quarterbacking right there.
Indeed it is. Let the big guy take the bumps. At the 46 of Seattle, Smith now has caught 3 passes for 55 yards. Up the middle, short yardage out to the 49 goes Dan Dornick, who was the most valuable player in the Challenge Bowl. That was a short live bowl hosted here in Seattle for 2 years. And in the first game, the Seattle coaching staff had the Western team, and Dornick was a member of that team. And that's when Jack Patera's staff said, hey, I like this Dornick. Let's keep him at home. And they made the trade with the New York Giants this year. 2nd down, 7. Tight end Mark Bell, rookie from Colorado State, is in there. McCullum is in the slot right. That's Smith again. Flags are down, and Smith is out of bounds at the Denver 41. The flag was thrown by one of the judges deep downfield.
Well, you always wonder when a receiver is that open, how they kept the defenders away from him. Several times it's looked like there was some shielding going on by the offensive receivers downfield, and I think that's what the Seattle Seahawks have just been called for. Kind of the same thing as a pick in basketball. You get in front of the guy and just cut him off, and they've been effective with it several times earlier, but they will be called for it here.
Instead of a first down in Denver territory, ball marked back to the 39 for Seattle.
Pass interference, 84. Offense, 2nd down.
McCullum was the man who argued that he was bumped illegally earlier in the game, and this time in perhaps retaliation, they found him to be the guilty partner.
Well, those defenders do have some rights back there, and when they're violated and the official catches you, it's a costly penalty.
2nd down, 15. Zorn, good play action. Buying some time, throwing for McCullum. He's open. And he might go all the way. Out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Oh, that has to be poetic justice for McCullum.
Jack Patera said that Jim Zorn gets back into position to throw the football faster than any other quarterback he's ever seen. Watch how quickly he gets back. Absolutely amazing. Watch Zorn. He is outside and ready to throw in just a few steps, and then fires the ball as far as he can, which wasn't far enough, but McCullum was so open that they couldn't catch up to him, and when they finally did, Jackson knocked Bernard Jackson off. The 2 Jacksons knocked each other down. Let's look at the isolation on McCullum here.
58 yards on the play, and McCullum had beaten that defense so much he had the time to wait for the ball and still make the play. You know, Zorn, when he threw it, he was a javelin thrower in college, and that looked like a run and a javelin toss across field. So it's 1st and goal, Seattle at the 3-yard line. Trying to build on their 7-0 lead. Sherman Smith stumbles at the 1. Down low, the submarine on that tackle was number 63, John Grant, veteran from USC.
Looked like Smith tripped over the foot of one of his own linemen as he approached the football, but still able to dive in there for a little bit of yardage. 1.5 yards to go. Denver defense with their backs against the wall. They certainly would like to keep the Seattle Seahawks out of the end zone here.
2nd and a long 1. Smith again.
Touchdown.
You bet. And what a first half for Mr. Sherman Smith. Nothing, the Seahawks.
Smith just off the right side. Getting some good blocks over there from Coder, who pulled out to give him a little help. Dornick getting up in there with a good block. John Yarno over there. Excellent blocking. Good acceleration from the back. That's That's the kind you clip out and put in your roll at the end of the year and say, that's the way we wanted to do it.
Herrera's extra point right into your living room. Sherman Smith has both touchdowns for the Seahawks and now has 14 for the year. Earl Campbell leads the NFL with 18. Smith knows the way to the end zone. We follow him for 6 more, and with 13 minutes left in the half, underdog Seattle leads by 14.
That is incredible. You're putting me on.
Our hidden camera is catching reactions to the sticker price of the new Dodge Aspen, which includes 6-passenger room, automatic transmission, power steering, and more.
The features that this one has for under $5,000, I think is amazing.
I thought you were going to surprise me and say, well, it's under 7, under 5.
Aspen, the only 6-passenger car in America for under $5,000. Buy a 1980 Aspen now at a participating dealer and get a $300 check direct from Chrysler.
Your next long-distance call may be transmitted by satellite. The signals being sent and received from places like this called Earth stations. It's our latest way of preparing for the future, when telephone traffic gets heavier and heavier. Because you see, each one of the satellites can handle 18,000 calls at once.
Gee.
No, GTE.
College basketball is back and off to a flying start when last year's Freshman Player of the Year, Mark Aguirre, leads Ray Meyer's DePaul team into Pauley Pavilion to face rookie coach Larry Brown and the powerful UCLA Bruins next Saturday on NBC.
So the Seattle Seahawks jump out to a 14-0 lead against Denver.
Well, and Jimmy Zorn is just having a fine day along with Sherman Smith, and he is exciting to watch. It's just an exciting football player, makes things happen. And I think a perfect expansion quarterback, too, Dick. He can do everything a quarterback has to do and give you that little extra, too.
Herrera hits it high to Dave Preston. Preston to the 20, to the 30, and out to the 36-yard line. The running back from Bowling Green, tackled by Sammy Green, former All-American at Florida.
Preston, a very versatile running back, doing most of the returning chores now, and does a good job of getting through traffic. Watch him elude some tacklers or prospective tacklers right here. Just popped through a little gap, saw a little room to go. For 56, Sammy Green, one of the men who wrapped him up for the Seahawks.
First down, Denver, trailing 14-0. Not unlike the situation in the first meeting of these teams in Denver back in September. And Morton trying to go for the bomb. Upchurch, and that's going to be interference. No question about it. He was being pushed around by Kerry Justin, number 26. And that's going to be a big, big gainer for Denver. All the way to the 22-yard line in Seattle territory.
How many times do we see that, Dick? A defensive cornerback beaten, a ball not well thrown and almost impossible to catch, but with the penalty, they get the yardage anyway. Upchurch, watch him in isolation. Down the field, he's just got too much speed for Justin, and he'll go away from him here. Justin doing everything he can just to try and keep up, and right there, puts the hand across, takes a hold of him. Too much contact. Could have called about 4 or 5 penalties on him there, I think.
So it is first down for the Broncos at the 23 of Seattle. That's a 42-yard penalty for Denver. Jensen and Armstrong in the eye behind Morton. Armstrong, no gain. Whistle dead where he went down. At the 22 might have been a yard gain. And Upchurch back in with a play from the sidelines in Red Miller.
67, Bill Cook has gone into that ball game in place of Tuyasa Sopo. And he's the one who penetrated and made that play. Excellent defensive play.
And number 44, Harris, has come in as the 5th defensive back for Seattle on 2nd and 10. And Morton, apparently seeing something new, is audibleizing. Or perhaps something that he figures will open up a door for him. He's got time. An open man. Out of bounds is Ron Egloff, the tight end at the 2-yard line.
One of the things that amazes me about Craig Morton is the velocity in that throwing arm. Now, that's the kind of a pass that a quarterback without a strong arm wouldn't dare to throw. But he waited, saw the man standing flat-footed, had enough force on that football, and watch the way he gets quite a bit of time here. Actually fakes one time there. Look at the fire on that ball. He zips it right over there. Egloff did not come back to the ball as he probably should have, and still had time to pull it in. He's out of bounds. Denver has a scoring opportunity.
For Egloff, that's just his second catch in 3 games in relief of the injured Riley Odom, who may play against San Diego next week. There's some movement in the line, and Lytle goes down at the 2-yard line.
Well, the defense moved first, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't call it on the offense.
They did. It is procedure against Denver. That hurts. Now, they made 2 very critical 5-yard mistakes, Merlin. One that has already cost them 3 points on the field goal by Turner illegal procedure. And now first and goal at the 2. That changes it tremendously. Now first and goal at the 8.
Puts a lot of pressure on Morton and that offensive
Moving
team.
before the snap, 73 offense, first down.
You might wonder about the rule. The defenders are allowed to move as long as they don't enter that neutral zone. And some of the defenders started to move, but the offense must remain still until the ball is snapped, or the penalty is called on them. However, if the defense comes into the neutral zone and an offensive player moves, then it'd be a flip the other way.
Morton to Moses, out of bounds, and they're right back where they started, down at that 2-yard line. Keith Butler was the nearest blue jersey. Now it is second and goal for the Broncos as Haven Moses wraps his hands around another completion. Oh, he's had another good year. Started today with 43 catches, nearly a 19-yard average, and 5 touchdowns.
And again, smart football. Not going for all the yardage at one time. They're going to get part of it. And in doing so, find a little open area over there. Morton had to loft that ball over the head of the defender. Did it beautifully. And Moses did not drop that one. Excellent catch.
12 minutes remaining in the first half. 14-0 Seattle. Second and goal at the 2. Lytle in motion. Morton. Incomplete. Intended for John Keyworth, who was lined up as a tight end.
It's almost that little jump pass you used to see in high school. Morton had it on target. Keyworth took quite a shot and had to turn to get the football. That's a tough catch to try and make. Watch it for yourselves. You'll see Morton just take a little fake right there. Keyworth from the right side of your picture, right there. Little fire up in the air. He just couldn't control it. And boy, he took a shot when it came down from number 22, Dave Brown. Leveled him.
Now it's third and goal at the 2-yard line. Morton bootlegging, and he scores. And that has to make the veteran Morton happy. He's not at all pleased with the fact he's referred to, and accurately so, as an immobile quarterback. Well, he just showed that he can move those puppies and has 6 points to prove it.
That's delightful to see him coming onto the outside. He has the option here of throwing or passing. He's behind his 2 guards, 62 Glassick and 60 Howard, who do a great job of blocking. But Morton himself diving for that end zone. He could have got in from the 5 the way he dove in there.
Jim Turner will try to tack on the extra point out of Norris Weiss's hole. He's got it. So Morton has rushed for the 20th time this year, and he now has a grand total of 10 yards gained and a very important first touchdown rushing. Morton has put Denver back in the game. We have 11:46 remaining in the first half, 14-7 Seahawks.
Fist buds for all the people who make the sidelines a part of the show.
Fist buds for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
Fist buds for you.
I gotta look good today, and there's nobody here to iron my shirt. Nobody has to. This 100% cotton shirt is fantastic. 100% cotton, but with a special process so I can just wash and wear. This is the shirt that's got it all together. All the comfort of 100% cotton and easy care. Because she promised to love and honor.
But not to iron.
When you're looking for comfort, look for the seal of cotton. The more cotton, the better you feel.
A fashion show becomes a horror show when models start dying in a world premiere mystery. She's dressed to kill.
You gotta get us out of here.
There is no way out.
Monday.
Well, the Seahawk is in a festive holiday mood. He's got the red cap, reminding us of the joyous times ahead. I certainly hope you and yours are headed toward a very pleasant, peaceful time of the year. That ball caught. And at the 15-yard, here comes Jeff Moore. And out at the 25-yard line, first down, Seattle. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC Television Network.
This is KING-TV, Seattle.
Now the Denver Broncos have just marched 64 yards in 5 plays for their first touchdown. Took them only a minute and 19 seconds. 42-yard pass interference penalty was the key to that drive. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen. Kingdome is sold out again, well over 60,000 fans. And the hometown Seahawks lead 14-7 as they begin play at the 25-yard line. 11:35 left first half. Largent in motion, has not caught a pass yet. There's his first. And he's shot down immediately on a good tackle by Steve Foley, 43, from the right corner. Foley, a former quarterback at Tulane. And there's Zorn, a man who you saw try out, in quotation marks, with the Rams a few years ago.
Well, Zorn had signed with Seattle. They cut him loose just before the season started in 1975. The Rams picked him up as a member of the taxi squad. And he ran our red shirt taxi team. I kept saying, who is that little left-handed kid? Because he made us look bad defensively. We had a good defensive team. An amazing young man, and it really has earned his success here in Seattle.
Sherman Smith gets a couple of yards. You saw that visual on Zorn, only the third man in NFL history to pass for 10,000 yards or more in his first 4 years. Just in case you're curious, the other two are Joe Namath and Norm Snead. You know, to show you how little I know about football, at that time I was doing the Los Angeles Rams broadcast on radio, and we saw Zorn work out every week when we went down to do the interviews and that sort of thing. And who's that little guy? I mean, he can't really be a possible player. He's just some guy that they're keeping around just to keep the balls warm and make the defense work a little bit. You saw it much differently. And obviously a great talent is Zorn. And again, he's deceptive. He's a lot bigger than he looks. Right on the money, but out of bounds was McCullum. Did not get both feet down out at the 37-yard line, and that means Seattle will have to give up the football.
Dick, just as a capper to the story, the Rams wanted to keep him rather badly, and in fact tried to hide him. But one of the Seattle coaches had known about Zorn, and of course they were scouting the bushes for talent, and he's one of the first that they signed, and they got him free. They really got him for nothing. They picked him up without having to draft him or without having to trade for him, and he's become their most valuable offensive player.
Weaver hits a long one to Chris Payne from the 23 to the 30 and wrapped up at the 33-yard line. And a final footnote on the Zorn story, and I think we should go back and give credit to an outstanding organization that saw him first and saw his potential, the Dallas Cowboys, the club that first spotted Zorn's talents. Timeout here in the Kingdome. Just under 10 minutes left in the first half. Seattle leads it 14-7.
Mustang, Firebird, Datsun ZX, TR7, Silica, and Dodge 024 start out together. But all sport coupes are not engineered equal. More aerodynamic styling moves Dodge 024 out ahead. And 024's automatic transmission mileage ratings are higher than the others. Some don't have 024's precise rack and pinion steering or four-wheel independent suspension. And none have 024's front-wheel drive.
We're building 024s day and night so you can take delivery of these great mileage cars right now at your Dodge dealer.
Not for 1 year, or even for 2, but for 3 years in a row. One 19-inch color TV has challenged America's biggest sellers, RCA and Zenith. And every year, independent surveys show the Sylvania Superset, the clear winner for best overall color picture. Isn't it time you found out why Sylvania keeps winning and winning and winning? The Sylvania Superset. We may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture.
We've got the best of the bowl games beginning Christmas Day with the Fiesta Bowl. And New Year's Day, the unbeaten Buckeyes take on Heisman candidate Charles White and the Trojans in the Rose Bowl. Then, the undefeated Seminoles face Billy Sims and the Sooners under the night lights of the Orange Bowl.
And we are proud of that bowl lineup. Fiesta Bowl on Christmas Day. Oh, you figure on New Year's Day, of the 4 teams you'll see on NBC in the Rose and in the Orange Bowl, 3 have not lost a game all year. USC once tied, Ohio State and Florida State unbeaten, and Oklahoma losing only 1. Big hole for Jim Jensen, and he busted out to the 41-yard line before safety man Keith Simpson can make the tackle. Now, that's how Denver moved the ball early in that first quarter, only to run themselves into a misfire on a field goal because of a penalty.
Number 42, Keith Simpson. We talked about him earlier as a big play player. Look at the punishment that those little backs have to take, defensive backs, as they come up on a big back like Jim Jensen. How many pounds does he give away, Dick?
Jensen is 230 and Simpson is 195. 35 pounds, and Simpson playing with a fractured cheekbone. 2nd and 3. And Upchurch makes a fine grab at the Seattle 46. Dave Brown, former All-American at Michigan, made the tackle.
What a big difference Upchurch has made to this Bronco team. We knew about his big playability on kickoffs and punts, but he was relatively an undisciplined wide receiver until he got a chance to start. And he has really become the mainstay of this passing offense, at least in the terms of the big plays. Haven Moses, a great receiver, and they go to him often on control plays. But catches like that and finding ways to get open, something that he has done very well during the year.
He's caught 59 passes now. Morton ducking under the pressure. And now been chased down from behind by Bill Gregory, 77. Now it's a gain. Morton showing a little elusive ability. He just felt the pressure in that pocket.
Morton getting quite a bit of pressure from number 77, Bill Gregory. They acquired him from the Dallas Cowboys, too. He's working on Studdard, number 70. Watch him react to Morton as Morton spins away here, and he gets him from behind. Well, that's a little embarrassing to be run down by a big lineman. But I'll tell you this, Morton is moving better than we've seen him move in a long time. Doing a good job.
Indeed. That's 2 rushes for 8 yards and 1 touchdown for Morton. 6 on that carry. Jensen outside to the 35, to the 34, and a first down for Denver. So the Seahawks took the early 14-0 lead. Denver has scored, and they're marching toward a possible tying touchdown.
Dick, you talked about Jack Patera and the fact that he has to be a little disappointed and a little concerned he does not have a defense since he was a defensive coach. Red Miller was an offensive line coach, and until this year has really been kind of embarrassed by the performance of his offensive lines. In fact, some people felt that that was the weakness of this Denver team. He can hold his head up now. That offensive line is playing very well.
At the 34, Morton, the quick shot to Moses, and Haven Moses is out of bounds at the 26-yard line, and that's a gain of 8. It is interesting. If you lined up the 2 men and you met them at a party, Jack Patera and Red Miller, and you said, now one of these men has a wide open offense, and the other man really basically you would expect seeing one of his games as a defensive-oriented coach, and you'd pick the opposite man. I mean, Patera just exudes defense and toughness and meanness and never smiling, and he's not an animated guy. And Miller's the cheerleader and hopping around, and he'll be smiling one moment and almost crying the next. And their personalities really belie the character of their team.
A great contrast in the two of them and their styles.
Morton looking for a long one. That's Rob Lytle. Touchdown. No, he didn't have it enough. The official had already signaled touchdown, but when Lytle didn't wrap it up before falling out of bounds, he waved it no good.
The official first signaling because he was in the end zone, but then realizing that Lytle did not have complete control of that football, signaling incomplete. We'll give you a chance to see it for yourself. Watch Morton now getting back, getting time to throw. And again, we talk about how critical that is. If he has time, he can throw the football. Now watch Lytle. See how long he has control of it here in the end zone. He's being pushed out of bounds. He was in the end zone. Had he held on to that football, it would have been a touchdown, but did not have control of it. Even in slow motion, you could tell that the time was not adequate for the reception.
That was a good play by Autry Beeman. Otis Armstrong. Oh, did he go down? As if somebody had an invisible wire about ankle high and just ripped it. And that'll be short of the first down, I believe.
A tough defensive hit. That's like being hit with an elephant gun in there. In behind the blocking of number 30, Jensen. Let's try and pick out the hit. There it is from the outside. Woo.
That's Simpson again.
Simpson again. Can you imagine sticking your head in like that with a fractured cheekbone?
Oh.
He must take some mean pills or something.
He was the first-round draft pick of the Seahawks in '78 after majoring in criminal justice at Memphis State.
There was some justice on that play.
Pounded the gavel, didn't he?
Well, as I said earlier, Patera speaks glowingly of, well, and there you see it, about 2.5 inches short. The reason he's short is because of that hit. Watch it again for yourselves. Otis Armstrong looking to have first down yardage, just is ambushed right there. And that's why Patera likes that young man. They can't blame him.
That's a nice call. Ambush. There's Simpson, and it's 4th and inches as Denver goes for it. Morton over the top. Boy, it's going to be critical as how they mark it. Morton trying to climb the mountain and push back.
I think he got that one. I want to be 1 for 2 today anyway.
Wait, I'm going to see if I agree with you or not.
One direct link between both Red Miller and Jack Patera is that they're both willing to gamble in a situation like that. That was an obvious, the simple call. I mean, the safe call was the field goal there. Red Miller's not afraid to let his chips stay on the table a little bit longer either, and there's the reason why he got the first down.
Well, Craig Morton, although the statistics will show him gaining only 9 yards and 3 carries, they have been critical yards. A 2-yard touchdown, a 1-yard first down effort on 4th down, and a 6-yard scramble. Denver is now 2 for 7 in 3rd down or 4th down conversions. And they have it at the Seattle 23, trailing 14-7. 6.5 minutes left in the first half. Little screen to Upchurch, breaks a tackle. And finally knocked out of bounds short of the 15-yard line. But Upchurch showing again how tough he is to catch. You just don't get many clean hits on him.
You talk about big play ability. You talk about game breakers. Number 80, Rick Upchurch, is a game breaker. He should be trapped for a loss here. But not only breaks the tackle, but then uses those quick feet to get him upfield. And the tackle again by number 42, Keith Simpson, who's having an outstanding day for the defense. He is a rough player for his size. Unbelievable.
He certainly has introduced himself to a few Broncos. 2nd down, 3. Otis Armstrong has the first down and more. And out of bounds, 1st and goal at the 9-yard line for Denver. Number 57, Peter Cronin from Boston College. In high school, he was a football, basketball, baseball, track, and hockey star. Made the stop. Looked as if he wanted to take him right into the boards.
Cronin playing in there for Terry Beeson. Beeson, the regular starting middle linebacker, has been sidelined with an ankle injury and had hoped to be able to play, but unable to do so. That was good offensive execution on the part of the Broncos. 62 Glassick and 32 Keyworth were the big blockers on that play. They opened up a lot of room.
All right, this is an interesting 1st and goal. 9 yards, toughest real estate to buy for Denver, and they're trying to put it away and tie up the ball game. Keyworth gets the first call and gains about 3. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line. Michael Jackson, who was a star here on NBC a couple of New Years ago when he played for the University of Washington. Remember, it was Jackson who intercepted a Michigan pass late in the game to preserve the Huskies' upset of the Wolverines. 2nd down and goal. Ball is spotted inside the 7. It's a long 6 yards. Morton trying to throw for it. Wide open is Haven Moses. He must have really put a move on someone. A man to be that wide open in short yardage situation, and here come the Broncos.
Amazing the way Morton was able to just hang there. Knew he didn't have much time, and in fact, I think hung the football up because he knew the receiver wasn't ready for it yet. Watch how he lost this ball. Look how long it stays in the air. Has to get it over the top of the defender and has to make certain that Moses has made his cut and turn. That's beautiful timing, beautiful unspoken communication between quarterback and wide receiver.
The M&M connection is blocked. Oh, and then it's blocked. So, as high as the Broncos are in one moment, the Seahawks gain a little emotional momentum as Dennis Boyd, 68, smothered Turner's try for point.
I think it's a low kick, Dick. Let's watch it. I don't think they got in that far. I think Turner just kicked it low, and they got up just at the right moment. There it is, right there.
Boyd up over the top with a left arm, unofficially with a block, so Seattle maintains a 1-point lead.
I'm Cheryl Teague. I feel at home in front of the camera. But behind the camera, I don't know the difference between a lens opening and a Broadway opening. So I rely on my Olympus OM10. My trusty OM10 gets great shots automatically. My OM10 has the smart little red light that tells me when it's okay to shoot. Oh, it's okay to shoot. Hold it, fellas. With Olympus OM10, great shots automatically.
Taste the high country. Taste the high country.
Coors is born high in the Rockies, and the quality never comes down. It's brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water and its own special high country barley.
It's not downstream beer.
There's no flatland beer.
It's not city beer.
It's Coors.
Taste the high country.